Hi everyone. In this video I am going to explain you how to generate a tree map. Okay, so our final outcome will be something like this. Visualizing the Nasdaq top 20 sites, top 20 stocks uh, as a tree map. So before getting into that, I will just explain you what is a tree map. So this is a Medium article which I published in the same topic. So I will be just using it as a reference for this video. So tree map is a visualization technique which is used to visualize part of a whole relationship. Okay, so a part of a whole relationship is something in which the area of a part which will be proportional to the measure. So just like a pie chart is also another common uh, technique which is used to visualize a part of a whole relationship. So however, a tree map is much better than pie chart in visualizing the part of a whole relationship. So I have written another Medium article uh, in which I have mentioned why a tree map is better than a pie chart. So you can check that video also, check that article also. So uh, actually, like the main reasons are uh, our human brain is not capable of comparing the angles. So we are much better than like in a pie chart. The if the measure is higher, then the angle will be higher. The sector will be of the larger area of the larger if the measure is large. Okay, so our human brain is not equipped to uh, compare angles. It is actually very difficult. And also another reason is that a lot of area is also wasted. Like you can see that in this pie chart, the central area is actually like not conveying much meaning. It is completely cluttered. So in tree map, actually, it is not very it utilizes the area much more efficiently. So I will be using uh, a Python package called Squarify to generate pie chart, generate a tree map. Okay, so these are all the libraries which are required. So I'll just copy it and I'll just start a new Python notebook. Okay, so pandas is required for reading and analyzing the reading data from CSV file, and also for using and also for pre-processing if required. That is data manipulation. Then I have imported matplotlib and matplotlib pipeload package from matplotlib. This is for data visualization, and squarify for generating tree map. Okay, so now let's get into squarify. So we can generate a tree map by using squarify.plot function. Okay, this squarify.plot function accepts sizes. So and depending on the sizes, uh, the tree map will be split into different areas. So for example, let's and it will take the sizes as an array. So let's take one measure as 100, one as 200, and the other one as 400. So now you know that it is actually dub total will be, so this square will be 4 times bigger than the first square, I mean rectangle. Okay, so I'll just plot it. Okay, so this will be corresponding to the 100. This is corresponding to 200, and this is corresponding to 400. However, this actually does not convey much meaning. Okay, because there are no labels, and we don't require this axis also. I will just turn the axis off first. The axis can be turned off by using plt.axis. I will use plt.show also, so that this will be removed. This matplotlib object name and all, this is not required, that will be removed. I will define the size of the plot also. So instead of giving the array here, I will just initialize the array as array uh, outside. I will name it as sizes. I will give sizes here. And I will use labels, not label, value. So sizes will specify the size of each rectangle, and value is the label which will be displayed on each rectangle. Okay, so I will specify value as sizes itself. So that means now in each rectangle the size, I mean the measure, the each sizes also will be displayed. Okay, so this is the uh, new plot, new tree plot. Okay, you can see that the sizes are also displayed. And another thing which you have to notice, that the color has changed. Initially when I generated the plot, it had a different color scheme, and now it is different color scheme. So like if I execute this cell again, so the color scheme has changed. Okay, so that means the colors are currently assigned randomly. Okay, so if I want to have some specific color, I can use colors. uh, I can provide an array of colors as an argument. So colors can be specified as the value, or it can be specified as the short name, like B for blue, and or else we can also specify it as the hex code. So hex code will be I'll just use a random hex code 771200. Okay, I don't know what color it represents. Okay, let's execute this cell. Okay, so now the colors are specified: green, blue, and then the uh, okay, colors are not specified now, so I have to mention this here. So there is color keyword, and I am giving giving colors as the parameter. So now the colors will be set. So that means the smaller one will be colored red, the 200 measure one, I mean the second one will be colored blue, and the other one, I don't know what color it is. It will, like, let's see, let's find it out now. Okay, so these are the colors now. So now another problem is that the numbers are not very visible. Okay, so we can use text keyword arguments parameter to uh, change the text formatting. So it will take in like dictionary. So I will improve the size. I will assign it as 18, and then color. Okay, it is dictionary, so I have to give it within single quotes. Color is white. Okay, so another parameter is alpha. So alpha keyword can be used to control the luminosity. So by default alpha is 1. So I'm giving alpha 0.5. Let's see. So now the luminosity of this the plot has come down. Okay, the colors have become much more muted. So instead of giving the sizes, I can give the another labels also. A, B and C. So values I will give it as labels. So now A, B and C will be displayed instead of the uh, absolute value. So another area is we can use pad. By default pad is false, but then like if I turn pad equal to true, it will add a padding in between the rectangles. So sometimes if you are using a lot of, if you have a lot of measures and if the colors are very similar, it will be very difficult to distinguish between each rectangle if there is no pad. So if I set pad is equal to true, it will add a padding in between each rectangle. So I will execute this thing. Okay. So that's it, guys. That's the basics about generating a tree map. So now let's get into plotting the uh, Nasdaq top 20 stocks. So I have retrieved the data from Finviz, stock screener in Finviz. So this is the data. Uh, okay, so this data includes the ticker name, the company name, sector, industry, country I have set as USA. I'm just taking the data of companies which are listed in USA only. Then market cap, PE, price, and change in a day, volume traded. So these are the data which are available in this table. So I have saved this as a CSV file. Okay, so I will share it in my GitHub repository also, and I will link it in the description. So uh, first thing is we have to retrieve the data from the CSV file. So for that we will use pandas. Df is equal to pd dot read underscore CSV. So we'll just see the data. We'll just see the first few lines. Df dot head. So now you can see the same data is here. Ticker, company, sector, market cap, P. So we are interested in the market cap. So we will make a tree map with the sizes corresponding to the market cap of each company. So that means the companies with the largest map will have the largest area. Okay, and then we will use a color scheme depending on the volume and depending on the change per day. Okay, so uh, as you see, the data is not in float format. So the market cap contains a B, which denotes billion. So since this B is there, so it will be considered as an object or as a string. Okay, it is not a float parameter. Only if the value is float, we will be able to float or int numerical value. We will be able to plot a tree map. Okay, so same is the case with the change. change is also having a percentage sign, so that renders it to be a string value or an object value, and same is the case with volume. So we can check that by using df.info. So df.info will show the data type of each field. So you can see here volume is an object, change is an object, and market cap is also an object. So but p by e and price, these are float values. So now I have to convert the data type into float so that we can plot a tree map. So if you are working with a properly sanitized data with all numerical value, then you need not go through this data pre-processing part. You can directly skip into the next section, so where I plot the tree map. So now let's do some uh, pre-processing. So what I have to do is that I have to convert this string value into a float value, and like I have to remove uh, the b from this value, and then I have to convert it into a float. So I will do that by using a lambda function, df market cap equal to df dot will not work, market cap dot apply. So what this function does is that it will iterate through all the values in the market cap in this column, and then uh, for every value, for every row, it will do a transformation. So it will take first x to be this value, then it will change x to the required value. So that I have to give now. So I will just first I will just see, I will just give the first value as x, and then I will find out what transformation I have to do. Okay, so the first value will be df market cap of 0. So this is the first value. Okay, so this first value I have to change it to a float value of this value. Okay, so this is what is required. So I will just consider it as x. So what is required is I have to use a replace function. Replace b with, I have to replace capital B with a null string, that is just removing b. So if I remove b, I will get the value, but then like it is in string format. I have to convert that into a float. Okay, so this is the transformation which is required. Okay, so x is this value, and I have to change x to this transformation. So this transformation I will just add it here. Not required. So I'll just apply this transformation. So now let's see how the data has changed. Okay, so you can see now the market cap, that B is removed, and it is in floating point. I will just see. See, now you can see market cap is a float data. So now it can be used for making a tree map. So I'll just copy this. So I'll make a bigger plot. Maybe 12 and 8 will be fine. Sizes. sizes will be df dot market cap. So labels will be df dot ticker. Okay, this I can give it inside also. Colors for the time being, let it assign it randomly. So values, I will values will be what we have to display on the map. So that I will use the tickers. Df dot ticker will be the this thing, and I will set alpha to be 0.8. Padding is true. Okay, let's see it. So guys, this is a tree map in which the sizes are proportional to the market cap. So Apple is the company which has the largest market cap, so it is the uh, largest rectangle in this uh, tree map, followed by Microsoft, Amazon, and then Google. So one problem with the Squarify tree map is that if you use Tableau or Power BI to plot a tree map, then the uh, all the rectangles will be arranged according to their sizes. So the rectangle with large size will be the first one, then the second one will be below, and so it is actually much more convenient. So, but in this in Squarify, so the largest rectangle will be here, followed by like it will be going on like this. So it is actually like not properly ordered. So that is a problem with the Squarify tree map. So that makes it a bit difficult to read the chart if the values are very close. So that means like it is very difficult to understand whether Costco this CSCO is actually like bigger or smaller than Intel. So like that it makes it a bit difficult. Okay. So I hope they will change the way it is displayed, the arrangement. Okay. So now we will give the shading depending on shading which can convey some meaningful data. Okay, so first I will use volume. So I will use trading volume as a measure. So the data will be colored according to the trading volume. Okay, so for that purpose I have to first change the trading volume, and I will use change also later. So I will convert these two columns into floating point value. The same transformation which I did for market cap I will do for change and volume. Okay. Df dot change equal to in change I don't have to replace B, I have to change the percentage sign. Okay, see, there is a percentage sign, this I have to remove, and in case of volume I have to remove the commas in between. So now I have changed the these two columns into floating point values. So now the next thing is I have to give a color map based on the uh, measure. But you can see that Squarify does not accept a color map. Squarify, we can give color but we cannot give a color map. So you can see that in the description also, the it will accept color as string or list lake. Okay, so for that purpose we have to take a color map and then we have to convert it into a list. Okay, so this volume is a sequential data. So it is not a diverging data. So it is not going in two directions like a positive and a negative or diverging from a mean. So volume is a sequential data. So we can use a sequential color map. So we'll just check in my post. So adding color map. So there are different types of sequential color maps like plasma is there, inferno is there, magma, gray, purple, blues, reds. So like that there are a lot of color maps which are available in Matplotlib. So it is in matplotlib.cm. So color maps are present in matplotlib.cm. I will just copy this code snippet and paste it here. So we have to select a color map from matplotlib.cm. Then we have to convert it into a string. So to convert it into a string, we have to use the minimum value and maximum value of the whatever measure we are using, and then for each value we have to get the corresponding shade of the color. So I will use cm.reds. Then I will normalize it with respect to the volume. So that means the uh, lower shade will be for the volume, the minimum volume, and the maximum uh, darkness will be for the maximum volume. Okay, and then for each volume I will assign the color. So I will just copy the previous tree map code. So I will run this. Now colors are selected depending on the volume. So I will pass it as an pass it into colors argument. Color equal to colors. So now, so you can see uh, the stock with maximum trading volume will be in a deep red color, and the uh, stocks with lower trading volume will be in a lighter shade of red. So I can change the color map also here. I can use grays. See, now the stock with the maximum uh, trading volume will be in a darker shade of gray, and so on. So I can use some other color map also. I will just show with another one. I'll just magma. Okay, so this is with sequential color mapping. So next, let's get into a color map which is very common. Like if you watch the financial news, or if you go through the financial websites, you must have come across this type of visualization where the stocks which have uh, uh, gone up in a day will be shown in green color, and the stocks which have gone down in a red color. So that kind of visualization is very common. So now we will uh, try to prepare that kind of visualization. So for that we will use change as the parameter depending on which the shading is done, color map is shaded. Okay, so for that we will use a diverging color scheme. So it a typically used color scheme for this thing, the stock visualization is RDYLGN. Okay, so the lower value will be in a red color, and the if the stock goes up in a day, it will be shown in green color. So I have to normalize it based on the change. So now I have prepared the color map. So that's it, guys. Now I can make some changes. Mm, I'll increase this size of the label, text size. We'll make it 16. Change the color also to blue. Okay, size I will decrease. Maybe I think 14 will be fine. Okay, so this looks good. So if you want to save the chart, you can use plt dot save fig. So it can be like we can save the data in save the diagram in PNG format, JPG format, or SVG, PDF. So whichever format you want. So you have to give the file name and the extension. So if no extension is given, it will be saved as a PNG file. So that is the default. So that's it, guys. So I think you have enjoyed this video. Please do like this video if you have enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel for more such videos, and let me know your uh, feedback in comment. So if you have any suggestions, let me know it in comments. Thank you for watching. Bye.